Hi guys! In this video, I will share with you 5 tips that I found useful for Sony ZVE1. I have talked about some of them in my previous videos or mentioned them in the comment area. But just in case you're new to the channel or if you missed any of them, I still want to organize and answer 5 most asked questions now in this video. And hopefully after watching this, you will be more confident using your ZVE1. ZVE1 doesn't have mechanical shutter. How do you deal with bending? The lack of mechanical shutter may result in flickers or bendings when shooting under artificial light sources, and this can happen in both videos and photos. Fortunately, it's easy to fix the problem. The first solution is to use a very slow shutter speed. I would recommend 1/40. This is probably more suitable for shooting objects that doesn't move. The second solution is to enable the anti-flicker on the camera. Go to Shooting, Shutter Silent, Anti-flicker setting. Turn on the anti-flicker as well as the variable shutter. Choose a shutter speed that minimizes flicker effects while viewing the monitor. If you set a faster shutter speed, there may be a potential difference between the monitor preview and the final recorded image. Another thing to remember is that this setting is only available when you are using manual mode or shutter priority mode. Turn on Dynamic Active Steady Shot to use APS-C lenses on ZVE1. For all Sony E-mount cameras, the full frame and APS-C lenses are interchangeable, but you will find that when you put an APS-C lens on, the Super 35 crop mode is grayed out and there will be black edges on the screen. But don't worry, all you need to do is turn on Dynamic Active Steady Shot and voila, the vignetting is gone. This depends on different lenses. Some of them work perfectly no matter how you move the camera, but others will still show a little bit of the black area if you shake the camera drastically or when you walk holding the camera. So you might have to move more carefully when you are using an APS-C lens on the ZVE1. But even if that happens, you can easily remove the black area by enlarging the footage a little bit in post-production. Another reminder is that I don't recommend using APS-C lenses on ZVE1 to take photos. This is already a low pixel camera, so the 1.5 times crop will make your photos super low resolution with only 4240 by 2384 pixels. You don't have any room to crop to adjust the composition. The ZVE1 is a video camera, not a hybrid one, so I have always assumed it doesn't have separate menus for photo and video, just like the ZVE10, but it turned out it does. Go to Menu, Setup, Operation Customize under number 3. On this page, you will see different settings for still and movie modes. By default, all the items are unchecked. Now you can select the ones that you want to separate. When shifting between video and photo modes, you will now have distinct menus housing different settings. This is significant because when I take videos, I shoot in S-Log3 at ISO 640 or 12800, and I will set the shutter speed number according to the frame rate I use. But in photo mode, I would normally keep my ISO number as low as possible and maybe use a higher shutter speed when shooting fast-moving objects. So, setting separate menus can simplify my workflow when switching between 2 different modes. When using dynamic active steady shot in low light environment, choose a higher shutter speed. I found that sometimes when the lighting is not good and when I use dynamic active steady shot, the footsteps will look very obvious. I can't help noticing the tiny shaking. When this happens, try using a faster shutter speed. I would recommend at least 1/200 seconds. I know this might sound a little bit unintuitive, dark environment but higher shutter speed, but that's just how it works. But since this camera has the second base ISO at 12800 when shooting in S-Log3, I wouldn't worry too much about using a higher shutter speed. Will dynamic active steady shot lower video quality? This is one of the most asked questions I encountered. I used to tell people that I couldn't see any quality loss because I think the low light capacity is very impressive when shooting in S-Log3. But that was before I conducted a side-by-side test. Check this video out if you're interested. When the lighting is good, there is no difference I can see. But when I use ISO 12800, the side-by-side comparison is quite striking. When using dynamic active steady shot, it's capturing less than 4K and then upscaling, so some loss in quality is reasonable. That being said, I don't think I will stop using dynamic active steady shot in low light because I believe stabilization is far more important than the noise introduced by dynamic active steady shot. Alright, so there is one more tip. I realized that after I recorded the video, but anyway, you can actually use slow motion even when you turn on the cinematic vlogging mode. Normally when you enable this function under normal video mode, you will see that the 4K 60p option is grayed out. But actually, if you go to SNQ mode, and then you can turn on CineVlog. So now you can profit from the amazing color grading. You don't have to do that by yourself, and at the same time you can record in slow motion. I hope these tips help you understand your ZVE1 better. If you have other questions about this camera, feel free to leave a comment below or watch other ZVE1 related videos. I will leave the links in the description box below. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.